Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Well, like I told you, I promised you at the beginning of the show, very eclectic programming today. Our magazine's going all over the place. Spending a little bit of time talking about what's happening in the real estate and also in the legal front. One of our contributors, Brian Spitz, he does a great job bringing us content not only for the show directly here on The Price of Business, but also at priceofbusiness.com, both with columns and his podcasts that are doing that you just recently launched. Tell us a little more about your company and about the podcast, Brian, and then in a moment, let's introduce your guests.
Yeah, my name is Brian with Big State Home Buyers, and we are a local company that buys property quickly from sellers who either inherit a house or just have a house they don't want to fix or repair, put on the market, whatever. We buy the house, we do all of the title work and everything in-house and move to a quick cash closing. We also work with investors in the state, particularly in Houston, and we sell investment properties that they can add to their portfolio to use as rental property or for flips. So we service both buyers and sellers.
Awesome. And your guest today?
My guest today is Gary McNeil, and he is the executive director of the Texas Board of Legal Specialization.
Very good. Yeah. And your topic?
We just want to find out a little bit more about what the Texas Board of Legal Specialization is and why it's important for consumers to get a board-certified attorney. And so welcome to the show. Thanks for making the trip to be here.
Thank you for having me.
And Absolutely. Where did you make the trip from?
From Austin, Texas.
Wow, yeah. So you left Weird for Normal for a couple hours.
I did.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I love Austin to visit. I like to come back to here afterward. But most people from Austin, I know they kind of feel the same way. They like to come and visit and eager to get back.
That's pretty much the case. Yeah.
Brian, cue it up with your first question for us.
Well, first, tell us what it's TBLS, the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. Can you give us a little bit of brief information about what it is and what kind of attorneys join?
Certainly. TBLS was started in 1974, first group certified in 1975, collaborative effort between the State Bar of Texas and the Supreme Court of Texas to recognize that specialization already existed in the area of law. It was just a matter of recognizing it and managing it, developed a system of encouraging attorneys to become proficient, knowledgeable in an area, become certified, and then they could advertise that certification to the public, providing the public a benefit with someone who is knowledgeable in a specific area of law.
Yeah, and I read that it looks pretty rigorous what it takes to join it. What kind of attorneys join mostly?
Right. Well, you've got to have a minimum of 5 years practice to qualify, and 3 years of concentration in the specialty area, and that's always the 3 years right before filing the application. Then after the application consists of listing the number of tasks that you perform in the area, a review of those tasks. You have to have 60 hours of continuing legal education in the specialty area, go through a peer review process, go through a disciplinary check. If you pass all of that, you get the privilege of taking a 6-hour written exam. So it's a pretty rigorous process.
And how does that benefit consumers?
Well, you find someone who has, if you see someone who's advertising their certification, they have gone through a process of really a formal process of recognizing their expertise in a specialty area.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, first of all, how many specialty areas are there altogether?
Well, we have 21 right now.
Mm-hmm. And the minimum number of years is 3 years before you can apply for a specialty?
5 years of licensure, but 3 years concentration in the specialty area.
And you have to document how you were specializing in that area.
You have to document various tasks. We go through a peer review process so that colleagues in the area have a chance to provide an evaluation of your knowledge and abilities in the area.
Yeah, and before I ask Brian to ask the next question, what's your website over there?
It is www.tbls.org.
Thanks. Brian?
And how would somebody find a board-certified attorney? And I just wanted to comment, actually, it's really interesting because you see people advertise, doctors and attorneys, that they're board-certified, and I think as a consumer, what I didn't know is that all attorneys had to belong to some board to be certified.
You're not required. It is a voluntary program, but you can think of the medical profession when you think of it. These are people who have concentrated in an area of practice, developed an expertise, and this is a way of recognizing that expertise and telling the public this is someone who has gone through some steps to get to where they are. And you can find attorneys all throughout the state. We got them in the cities, yes, but other places too. Sherman, Lubbock, places in between. There's a search feature on our website. Also tied to a Google Maps feature, which will even allow someone like in Houston to find somebody in their zip code, somebody nearby that they can consult with on a problem.
Yeah. What percentage of attorneys decide to get that board certification?
It's a relatively small percentage. We have about 7,100 certified attorneys. There are 93,000 attorneys total in Texas. 7,100 certified.
Wow, that is small.
Yeah. About 10% of the eligible pool, if you consider the 5-year requirement of practice before you become certified. But it's stayed fairly constant around that level.
Right.
That's interesting. So, like large law firms, do those firms get certified as a firm, or individual attorneys within the firm get certified?
All of the certification is individual. It's only tied to a person. Now, we do have some members of firms who are certified, and in the firm directory, they will indicate that listing, use the logo that we've provided them. But the actual certification is only given to an individual attorney.
Is certification similar in every state?
It really is very similar, and not all states have it. The other two most active programs are those in California and Florida, and all three of our programs are very similar.
Yeah, very interesting. And again, Gary, go ahead and give your website.
Certainly, www.tbls.org.
And Brian, kind of tell us what people will learn over at your website, and which one in particular would you like them to go to?
I'd like to send people over to bigstatehomebuyers.com, and that you'll learn all about the selling process for real estate. You'll also find access to this recording and video of this and many other things. We post a lot of blogs and articles. There's just rich with relevant information, both to real estate and things that are, tangents. And so, when you're talking about real estate sales and you're talking about, people actually need attorneys to clear up quite a few things that we come across. And, this is a great way for us to recommend that people reach out to the Texas Board of Legal Specialization and find an attorney for their area of practice.
Well, I thank Gary coming all this way to be with us. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Thank you for having me.
When we come back, more for you. Do want to remind you the best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter.